Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Isaiah Ashley, if you do not already know. And in today's video, I want to talk about foreigners getting bored in Thailand and 5 steps to avoid boredom in Thailand. And some of you guys might immediately go, bored in Thailand? Who gets bored in Thailand? People do, trust me. I've talked to people who, move back home for different reasons, but some people move home because they were simply bored here. And so I want to talk about that. Why do people get bored? What leads to that happening? And so, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, starting with number 1 is realizing you are no longer on vacation. This is probably one of the number 1 reasons why foreigners that move eventually get bored is because they move to Thailand based on the vacation mode that they originally visited in, right? So, I've met a lot of people in my past 2 years here. And so many people come to Thailand and see this like some big playground, right? So, say the first time you come here, you go to Phuket and spend some time in Bangkok or Pattaya, and you're just spending money, doing everything, just wilding out, drinking, women, just having fun, doing all the touristy things. You think to yourself, this is amazing. I want to move to Thailand. So you do it, then you live here, and after being here, for maybe a few months or however long, you're like, this is boring. This is no longer the thrill it used to be. Well, yes, and the reason why is because you are no longer a tourist. In all honesty, guys, my life here, day-to-day Thailand, I'm not going out island hopping or participating in touristy things or going around seeing all the temples and just different things that tourists would do, right? I live a very typical life, right? So basic day-to-day things. I go to the gym. I go to the store. A lot of times I'm at home. I go hang out with friends. I play basketball. And that's going to lead me into some of my future points. But number 1 is realizing you're no longer on vacation. So your life here isn't always going to be some vacation thrill, whether you're younger or retired here, unless if you want your life to be that every single day, then completely up to you. But for most people, living that vacation lifestyle is not sustainable because 1, it's costly on both your pockets and also probably going to be on your mental health as well. So that's a very important thing to cover is like get yourself out of vacation mode and start thinking like somebody who's living here and not somebody who is just vacationing here. And that leads me to point number 2. Point number 2 is going to be once you've established that you're no longer on vacation here, is that you create some form of routine. That's been one of the biggest things for me in my time here is figuring out a solid routine. And that's been big for me, especially in the last few months. And I told you guys, I've been here 2 years, but there's constantly been changes and optimizations I'm trying to make to my lifestyle. Different seasons of my life, things are different. But I'll give you guys an example for right now what my latest routine has been. For me, one of my number 1 things to check off my list every day is going to the gym. Making sure I'm healthy. Because with Thailand being this place where, and if we're not here working jobs, that we can just come around here and kind of play around and be partying and drinking all the time or just eating a lot, that will weigh on you. You know what I'm saying? A few months ago, I was coming off of like an ACL injury, and I weighed in at my highest weight I've ever weighed. And I was like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? We got to get back in shape. So I don't know if y'all can tell, but your boy been in the gym a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to flex on y'all too hard, but y'all can probably see y'all can probably tell, you know what I'm saying? Your boy is getting a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little right in the gym. Jokes aside, guys, it's super important for everyone, whether you're male or female, is that you get in the gym or have some type of active lifestyle integrated into your routine, right? So that's a very big thing for me. I'm now hitting the gym daily for an hour to 2 hours per day. I walk 30 minutes to the gym back and forth. So an hour a day is cardio. That is now a part of my routine. So just walking to the gym, that gets me outside. I get the little bit of simulation of seeing other people's faces and just it's a good walk. Listen to my music or sometimes a podcast or an audiobook. By the time I get to the gym, I'm warmed up, get my workout in, then I walk back. So I got that built-in cardio and it's a part of my routine. Another thing I'm doing daily as part of my routine is trying to learn at least a little bit of Thai. Another thing to my routine is editing videos and try to post content. Now, I don't do that every day, but it's normally a part of my routine at least a few days of the week. And a few other things I do, whether it's going on some dates or hanging out with friends. Very important, though. Routine is a very big thing, I would say, to establish here or honestly anywhere you live. So, number 1, realizing you're not on vacation. Number 2, establish a routine. Number 3 is find yourself a social circle. Very, very huge. So many foreigners come here and they get bored because they're just alone. They don't feel like they're connected with anyone because especially many of the guys, they don't feel like they can connect with maybe some of the locals, depending on, where they live or the interactions. And so that's understandable that at times you may feel lonely as someone living out here. And so it's going to be super important that you plug into a community or a social circle. And that's one of the reasons why I launched my community, Tribe of Nomads. I'm not trying to plug it, but I'm going to. Tribe of Nomads, we're over like 108 members right now of expats who are currently living in Thailand or are planning to move here. And so inside the community, other than just the ability to network and connect, and we also, we have live events where we go bowling, or soon we'll be throwing a villa cookout party. And so along with just providing information inside the groups, you guys are asking me about questions about visa options and just life in Thailand. I have a quick start course that's included when you join the community that answers all those questions for you and gives you direct access to different agencies and the information you guys need to know. So that's all in there. So that's one of my goals, though, with creating a community, is to provide that social circle for people who are in need of it. Because obviously, anywhere you go, community is number one. You need to have it. I'm saying, like, you need to have someone or multiple people that you that think, that are like-minded and you can hang out with and just have friends. Very, very important, and it's something you cannot neglect. Luckily for me, though, even before creating this community, I have been able to connect with, quite a few people just because of the mere fact that I'm a content creator. So I have the privilege that a lot of times people reach out to me directly. And so that's how I've made a lot of friends, just by people reaching out or recognizing me when I'm out and speaking. And then, we connect on social media and we end up hanging out. So, but I understand that the average person is not going to be that way. So finding that social circle might be a lot harder for other people. And so that's why, I created the Tribe of Nomads. There are other options. So I'm not just going to plug myself. There are other communities that exist right there. The biggest thing I would say, do a little bit of research and, and go where you resonate and, you feel connected. There are Facebook groups you can join. A lot of them, though, I really wouldn't give much attention to, only because, a lot of these groups there aren't very helpful. Not all of them, some are, but a lot of people in the group, you get too wide of a range of people. Some people in these groups are miserable. They're a-holes. They don't ever they're not there to be helpful. They troll people. They're miserable. Like I started said, they're miserable. It's just it's honestly going to be hit or miss with those. And so that's going to kind of lead me into, if you're wondering, okay, well, if that's the case, how do I meet people? And it's going to lead me into point number 4, which is be open to new hobbies, right? Especially you guys who are coming off of, say, a career, and now you're entering retirement. So many retired people struggle with getting bored because so much of your life, you're used to spending most of your day working. And so once you get that free time now, you're like, what do I do with myself? And obviously you can't just go out and do touristy stuff or vacation all the time. Now, when you have all that open time, now it's a whole new world, because you're having to figure out, what do I do with all my day? When in the past, you knew most of your day was going to be spent at work, and then you had to find time to do the things you enjoyed. Well, now you have that full time, and so many people struggle with that transition. And so I would say, for me personally, as someone who's still actively, I'm still actively working, in the sense of, I work for myself, but I do things that still produce income as well as hobbies, is that be open to new hobbies. And that can include, so here in Thailand, there's pretty much anything you want to do, you can find it. I mean, you want to be into photography, videography, you can do that out here. You want to be, you're into chess, they have it. You want to try out Muay Thai, they have it. You want to do, pottery, you want to learn how to cook, they have it. You want to golf, they have it. You want to play basketball, they have it. You want to play paddleball, they have it. You can pretty much do anything. You want to learn a new language, there's live language classes you can learn out here. So there's a wide range of options. There's pretty much anything you can find in any part of the world as far as hobbies go. You can find, most of it here in Thailand. So once again, when people say they get bored, it's kind of like you have to expand your range in your spectrum of things that you do, especially for the guys whose only hobbies become drinking and trying to talk to women. Of course you're going to get bored. Eventually it's going to burn you out. It's going to wear your pockets out and your time out and all your mental health out. So for me, now I don't really have to think about my weeks near as much, because my schedule is filled with the gym, learning Thai, playing basketball 3 days a week. There's also run clubs out here. There's so much to do, along with the fact that I'm creating content. So I would say, for you guys who are struggling with your time and getting bored, is that open yourself up to do new things, right? Get outside of the box and that small circle that you're used to being in, and just expand yourself. And, especially I would say, whether you're young or old, it's always important to stay sharp, stay trying and doing new things. It will make life a lot more interesting. And to add into the social circle, when you do these activities, you now expose yourself to other people, right? So by playing basketball, I now meet people who already have something in common with me. That's a great grounds to start building a friendship off of, right? Whether it's playing basketball or going to the gym. So once again, when we doing content, I go to the gym now, I get recognized by people. It's a great way to connect. And I would say, and I would add to this, is that most of the foreigners I have met here are open to conversation. So it's super important that maybe if you're a bit of traditionally an introvert, you may, to make friends, have to step outside of that introvertedness and be the first one to start a conversation. Most people are going to be friendly enough to hold a conversation with you, and most people are actually waiting for someone to speak to them. They're like, it's like a breath of fresh air for some people who, are not used to being able to interact with foreigners here, or are used to people speaking to them first. So when you make the decision to be the first one to say hello and greet or leave a compliment, usually you get a good response back from that. So that would be part of my advice too, is like, if you're waiting for everyone to speak to you first, sometimes you have to be the person to speak first. There's a great book I read years ago when I was younger. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And in the book, he talks about that, if you want to make friends, first you have to be a friend, right? So instead of waiting for people to be your friend, how about you try being a friend first? So yes, in summary with the hobbies, pick up a new hobby. Pick up a new hobby, or at least go to some type of, new class, or do something adventurous. Step outside your comfort zone, and you just never know who you will meet or what the experience will be like. And I think it will be very rewarding for you if you're willing to try it. Number 5 on the list is going to be explore other parts of Thailand. You might be bored because the city you're staying in doesn't really resonate with you. Yes, I talk about living in Bangkok and I like it. I talked about living in Pattaya and I like it. But listen, one of the biggest things I talk about, one of the number one things I believe that someone can have in life that would lead to success for them personally is a strong amount of self-awareness. Knowing yourself. I think the better you know yourself, the better you're able to navigate life, because in a world filled of a billion opinions, that's irrelevant if it does not resonate with you, right? I can say, hey, chicken wings are the best food in the world. You might hate chicken wings. It doesn't take away from the fact that I like chicken wings, and it doesn't mean anything if you don't like them. Maybe your favorite food is soup. I can't tell you're wrong. The biggest thing, though, is like we all have different taste buds, interests, opinions, desires. Know yourself, and then you can make the better decisions based off of know yourself and not just going where all the attention is, right? So if I only make Bangkok content, you're like, okay, I'm going to move to Bangkok. You come here, you might hate it. I've met people like Bangkok is the worst. And to me, I'm like, that's crazy. I love Bangkok. Some people love Pattaya. Some people hate Pattaya. Some people love Phuket. Some people hate Phuket. Some people love Chiang Mai. Some people hate Chiang Mai. And there's also other parts of Thailand you can visit as well. Hua Hin, as well as many other provinces here that I've never even been to. So explore around. When I first moved to Thailand, guys, I had never visited. Unlike a lot of people, I had never visited Thailand at all. So for me, I knew I'm going to live, or at least try living in the main cities I heard about before I made a set decision. So I spent my first month in Bangkok. Then I went to Chiang Mai for a month. Then I went to Pattaya. Then I went to Phuket. I lived in all 4 of those places for at least a month to get a feel for it. I found out for me, Phuket, I didn't want to live in full time. Pattaya, I ended up staying there the longest. Then, after making my rounds back, I actually like the city life of Bangkok now. So, be open to exploring around, and also realize that, hey, if you stop liking a place, you can always move. You can always bounce around. Moving here is fairly easy because one of the things is, too, for me, I don't accumulate a lot of things like I used to, right? So I'm very much kind of close to a minimalist now. My whole life pretty much fits in probably about the size of 2 suitcases and a book bag, right? I don't really own near as much, and I'm happy with that. So when I need to move, it's easy, right? I don't have to pack up any furniture because the condos already come furnished. So none of that stuff is no longer a big deal. And so, yeah, that's some sort of advice for you guys is if you come to Thailand like, oh, I didn't like it, or you come to Bangkok, I didn't like it, listen. These things are my opinion and other content creators' opinions. So just because we like something doesn't mean you will. Visit other areas. Maybe you'll love living in, say, Koh Samui. Who knows? You want the island life? You want chill? You don't want to be around many people? There's so many other places to be other than, Bangkok, Pattaya, and Phuket, and Chiang Mai. There's actually other places, you can live the island life. One of my content creator friends is actually currently living in Koh Samui. So, guys, you do have options. There's so many, and all these different places in Thailand offer a completely different vibe. So I don't want you to base your whole opinion about Thailand off of you spending 3 days in Bangkok and thinking that it's so smoggy here and crazy traffic and oh, Thailand's horrible. Like, don't be that limited in your thinking. And lastly, in summary, to summarize everything I've said, is number 6, not really on the list, but a bonus thing is maybe just accept the fact that Thailand actually isn't for you. And that's a great thing because you know what? There's so many more amazing places in the world. I have had the privilege of meeting people who have lived, in say like Dominican Republic or in Colombia or in the Philippines. And they love those places. And they came to Thailand, wasn't really feeling it. They only here for like a month, few weeks, but they prefer to live in those other places. So once again, just because you see our content and we're happy here does not guarantee your happiness. But hopefully one of these 5 tips will help you in your life and journey in living in Thailand, guys. And as always, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.